It was me. All right, we should be live, right?
Yep, it says
We
live.
we are live. I am Tom, the Bargain Effect. I am a product relocation specialist. Whoops, I got a product relocation specialist. I charge a small rehoming fee to find used products and new homes. You can call me a reseller if you want to be technical. So I sell on Poshmark, Amazon, dabble in uh, Macari a little bit now, trying to get into OfferUp. And we have special guests tonight. We have Brooks Boland from Datamiine. He's going to tell us a little bit more about his software later on. It has to do with the topic of my show, the summer slowdown, and how we're going to deal with it. And he's got one of the key things that I'm going to put to full use. On our panel tonight, we have Kim, the borderline hoarder. Everybody knows her. She's the big celebrity tonight.
Oh, what? I don't know about celebrity, but thank you for saying that. Hello, all.
Want to give us a little background on you, Kim?
So I am a reseller myself, a mom of a couple kids, and I live life with a pacemaker, which is why I love reselling, because it gives me the opportunity to not have to do what I used to do, which was I was in upper management in the restaurant business, and I missed out on a lot of my kids' sort of lives when they were younger. And so between that and then being sick with having so many heart issues, it was time for me to exit that and go on to bigger and better things. And that was when I first sort of dabbled into reselling, but I love it so much.
Awesome. Destiny, Shamrock Pixie, also my fiance. Why don't you give us a little bit of your story?
All right, so I am Destiny, aka the Shamrock Pixie, and I am a baby when it comes to reselling. I didn't grow up with it, so I am learning everything with my own eBay account. And then I've helped Tommy, the Bargain Effect, for about 2 years with his store, and he's been doing it for 3 years. So I kind of was like watching over his shoulder at the beginning. And 2 years ago, I started drafting for him. And what was it? February, the middle of February, I started my own account, not store yet, but my own account. And I've been learning ever since. So, oh, and I'm a mom of two. And they're 13 and 11, and that's pretty much about it at the moment.
Okay, and we got Pat from Pat D72 channel. Pat, give us the rundown.
The rundown. How far do you want me to go back? I was born in 1972.
No, I want to know where your parents met. And
Oh, okay.
let's come up to date a little bit.
We'll update like the last. Let's just say the last week.
Oh.
No, I'm Pat D72, as everyone knows. I've been on eBay actually for 21 years. I started Amazon in January. I was in the restaurant business for 18 years, owned and operated 4 restaurants. I employed over 800 employees. I'm a landlord. I do property management, and I actually even do Instacart delivery on the side. So I do a broad base of things.
Cool. And then the new unfamiliar face, or maybe a familiar face to some. We have Brooks Boland. You want to tell me a little bit about yourself there, Brooks? Give us a little background on you.
All right, sure. So I've been selling on eBay, Amazon, and Newegg for the past 7 years. We sell in tech. Background is in software. And then about 3 years ago, my business partner, Lucha, said, we have this platform we developed for our internal business. I said, we need to make this available for everybody. So we've been working about 3 years nonstop on doing that. Been in the Air Force for 17 years, reserves, out of Charleston, South Carolina. And so we have the full-time eBay business plus the software, which is Datamiine, to help the sellers.
I'm losing you a little bit on your audio there, Brooks, once in a while. It's kind of cutting out.
Okay, let me
me too.
reapply here. Okay,
Okay. So
is that better?
what I'd like to know, basically what I'd like to know, and what this show is pretty much going to be about this evening. And I think I'm going to start with Kim. Summer's coming. We all know sales get a little bit slower.
Hmm.
What do you do to try to counteract that? And do you do anything else to make up for it, or do you what do you do to try to help it along without slowing down too much?
Well, I think really, I don't think for me, there is a slow sort of period. I just kind of gear it more towards what's going to sell during that time period. But if I need a little help in a boost of sales, I always, for example, on eBay, will try to make sure that things are promoted, and also throw down a sale. I don't like to always have a constant sale, so maybe during a slow season, I'll make the sale just a little bit bigger to sort of keep that consistency. You shouldn't, in my eyes, and this is just maybe my opinion, but if you're consistent, no matter what, you should be able to at least do some, sales. It's when you start to not be consistent that really affects your sales. So yeah, I'd throw down. I'd say basically throw down a sale, or make sure that your stuff is promoted for sure during slower seasons, and do it right. There's a few different ways, and I'd love to hear opinions, maybe eventually, or towards the question and answer, because I've been testing out a few things on that, but we can talk about that later. I'll write it down.
And how about you, Destiny? How do you plan on not letting the slowdown affect you?
Well, we're going to go to more auctions this summer. We have a flea market booth, so we'll be working there. And then we want to get into pallets, so work on our goal of getting all our inventory for the winter and try to sell what we can during the summer.
Pat D, what's your input?
Well, for me, even though I've been on, for 21 years, Amazon's probably a little bit different because, I just started Amazon in January. And for me is to constantly keep building that up. As far as eBay, I mean, I know in the past that the fourth quarter is always the strongest. I mean, I'm busy. One of the things that I'm doing with Instacart is that I'm using that money to build myself a certain amount of capital, and also to build, some stuff going into the fourth quarter. Looking, one thing with doing all this stuff, doing YouTube, I'm hitting the flea markets now, so I'm looking for stuff that I couldn't find in the winter. So there's stuff out there. So yeah, maybe the inventory, I'm not worried about it because I'm not coming off of a big number. Like if I was doing, let's say, $20,000 a month on eBay, that I'm like, oh, maybe we're only going to do 10,000 in the summer. I've constantly been building this up since I went full time about 4 or 5 months ago. Now, when I say full time, yeah, I have about 1,100 listings between two stores. But I have plans in place that I've talked about that I'm doing it's really not a concern. Now, down the road, it'll probably be something that, a lot of times in business, you can sit and then look at 12 months and say, okay, yeah, June, July, and August are slower. Then you do things a little bit different those months. And if you're doing, and it reminds me of like even Toys R Us. I mean, Toys R Us used to do sometimes 65-70% of their business in that window between October 15th and December 15th. And if we're going to be more like that, then I'll change how we do things like that. But I'm fine because in the summer there's a lot I can do, with YouTube and things like that.
Cool. And Brooks, I know you are more in the tech field with your merchandise. I looked at your store. You probably don't get affected so much by a seasonal change, eh?
I think that's true, and I think that's primarily because we sell business to business. So I would probably say 75% buying from us are businesses. But we do sell clothing as well, which takes a hit during this time. But you just need to be very aware of when it's slow to go back to eBay best practice. So that means list day. That means refresh your listings every day. So the first thing I would always suggest is, and what we do is go through our stale inventory to be able to identify that, to make sure it's not buried out there on eBay. And then another thing I like to do is review monthly our sales through rate. And then that way, when you know your sales through rate is going up for a certain period, then you know that you need to get your active listing count up to X, so you don't really see a sales impact.
Right. I mean, I obviously the key for me with keeping my sales up is listing. I think that's the key for everybody, constantly adding listings. But in the summertime, we also have, we do our flea market to subsidize slower sales, because we do a lot of clothing, so that slows down. And so we're not available in front of our computer every day or in the mornings to get my eBay active, because we're over at the flea market opening up at 5:30 in the morning. But I used to sit there every day like clockwork. I get up early in the morning and I would end some of my listings, 5 to 10 of them a day, and relist them as a sell similar. And I used to say all the time to Destiny, man, I wish we could just hire somebody to do this. Anybody can do it. Anybody could just end listings, but it takes time. And I ended up coming across this guy that has the software that could do this for me cheaper than I could hire somebody to do it. So what I would kind of like to do is turn the show over to Brooks and let him. I've been speaking. I know people in our viewers there have heard me mention Datamiine quite a few times, and I'd kind of like to turn the show over to Brooks and let him explain exactly what Datamiine can do and how Datamiine can keep your eBay active when you're not even able to get on it.
I like that. Want me to share my screen?
Yes, if you could, then people can see what we're talking about, because I know they hear the delist, relist, and they're probably confused. So yeah, if you could just kind of give them a quick run through, and then there's also a link to his YouTube channel in the description down below for further information. But yeah, go ahead, take it over, Brooks.
All right. So can you see Datamiine now?
Yeah, we can see it.
So for what we're talking about now is what we call delisting and relisting. So if you go into Datamiine and you click on what I always like to do when you first get into your inventory summary tab. So to me, eBay doesn't give you a good picture of what you have sitting on eBay at any particular time. But for what this chart right here means is our eBay store, we have two. You can see the two here we've linked, has over $279,000 listed listings. And what this means is we have 336 active listings that hasn't sold within 61 to 90 days. So what we think is anytime it hasn't sold within 60 degrees or greater, eBay starts pushing you down into the search. I always tell people when they get this, and let's say someone might have 1,000 listings that hasn't sold within a half a year greater, try to find that product on eBay. See how to find that product. You can't even find it. I probably spent 20 hours with eBay people, support team saying, how do I find my product? And I had to almost open the entire item ID just for me to even find it. So that ability and the knowledge to say we need to automate this, because eBay is just bearing you on this. So, but if you wanted to automate this for yourself, you can just come in here and click on what I like to do. Our rule of thumb is anytime it gets 61 day order, just click on the 61 and it's going to pull all those active listings at the bottom. Okay. And what this means we have 336. So how long would it probably take you to delist and relist 336 items, you think?
Well, we had to do that once when eBay accidentally ended our listing, and we did it 8 hours a day for 3 days straight.
Wow. So I'm just going to open these new tabs. This is how I do it very fast. I just hold down Control and open tab 2 all the way through. It would be 14 in this case. And then what I'm going to do is just bulk edit and just click select all. And then just click on this reset button. So this is adding it to a basket for us to do something to it with. So you're just going to click on reset. And then I'm going to go to my next tab. And keep in mind, I have very quick, in-depth demos of this on my YouTube as well. So if I move them too quick for you, they're all on my YouTube. And then you would just click on reset. And you would do this for every single one of them. So what this is doing, it's putting this into this queue for us to come in here every day. And what we do is we don't, if you approve, let's say 200 listings today, we don't do 200, we don't refresh 200 listings at a time because we want to show activity on your eBay account. So what we do is we take the oldest 25 listings and we take those down from eBay, give it a new ID, and sell similar. So if it had 100 in this basket, it would take 4 days for us to go through that. But that's tricking eBay into thinking that you're in ebay.com manually doing this. And the next big kicker is, am I generating any revenue from this feature? So you can go into your dashboard tab of Datamiine and click on sales report by delisting and sell similar. And it will show you, I'm just going to go back to last year when we launched it. We launched this back in August. Keep in mind, we had no clue if this was going to generate extra revenue. I just knew it would save time. But then we started seeing, for this month, we generated 170 bucks. That's pretty good, not too bad. Then 430, then 1,700. Now we're thinking, wow, this is a pretty powerful tool. Because our sales are, basically our sales to is going up 12%, 8% just off inventory that hasn't sold within a half a year. So just last year from August, we almost did $4,000 in inventory that was completely stale. And we're averaging here for this year, 1,300, 1,200, 2,000 for March. So almost 12% of our sales last month was just off of old inventory.
Okay, Brooks, can I interrupt you for a second? Okay, we had a question in chat from Flippin' Particles. He says, but is it still best practice anymore since eBay wants good till canceled?
So this is all about good till canceled. We've listed good till canceled forever. So now people, what's going to happen if you listed for 30 days and you were in that exercise, you're not going to feel the effect probably for 2 months. And then you're going to start seeing your sales dip because your inventory is getting stale. So you have one option. You manually have to do it. Or you use an automation tool like this to do it.
Okay. I've always listed good till canceled, and I started using your program here just as they're switching over to the good till canceled, and I have had nothing but braggable success. Not even just like I noticed the difference. I mean, braggable success.
Yeah.
Now, Brooks, I got a question, just so I'm following you. Now, it said last year it was $226,000 in sales.
Where did you see that?
Last
year? Probably. Yeah, that's our eBay revenue.
Now, is that you personally having 2 stores?
That's us on eBay. But we only do about 70%. We only do 30% of our revenue from eBay because we do 70% roughly off of directly through PayPal. Because we're doing so much repeat buys through businesses that I use Datamiine to identify repeat buyers, and then I call that person. I say, "Thank you for your repeat buy. Are you looking for anything else?" And then they say, "Oh, by the way, I'm looking for these 10 things." And then that relationship now becomes me to them directly through PayPal for the lifetime.
And primarily on this account, just so everyone's clear in the room, what are you selling? Do you have it looked like you had some clothes. Was there clothes, or was that just an example?
There's clothes.
Okay.
So 80% of our users sell clothing. So I felt software company, I felt very important that we need to also sell clothing because, our users are selling it. And clothing's very difficult. It's very manual. It's very labor intensive. And I didn't really realize that because tech all UPC based. and it's very easy to list, but you have to kind of understand the problem. Yeah, we sell stuff like hard drives, servers, really ASP items. You can see here, $800 for this, $1,300 for that. But we do quite a bit of clothing as well. And I'll even show you, we have one area in here to where you can go and see your sales through rate by category, which I think is really important. So if you can go to your sales by categories, and you can see your sales through rate. So our t-shirts, our clothing has a sales through rate of 6.5%. That's not that good. We have been selling a lot of ML. I guess that's just because baseball season just kicked up, but you can see our tech products has 7%, 50%, much higher sales through, 85%. So I like to use data like this right here in Datamiine to know what not to buy. I want to constantly buy things that are moving.
Yeah, I like looking at that too. And I used to always try to get so frustrated trying to figure out my sell-through rate, trying to take this and figure that in the numbers. I just wasn't good with it. And I love that that program does it all for me and then breaks it down further than I could even imagine breaking it down.
Yeah, there's a lot of analytics in Datamiine. We track your month-over-month average sales price. We track your sales through rate by store. We track your aggregated average sales price. So you can see here, this account here is 93. This one's 25. We lost the contract back in August of last year, and that's why you see this, my ASP here dipped really bad. But, you know, a lot of our users say, you know, Brooks, I want to make a strategic decision on increasing my ASP, which means I might have to increase my cost of goods. But if you're not tracking your average sales price, you might just be selling at the same price and your profit margin is getting cut. So this is very manual, but in Datamiine, it's real time.
Nice, nice. And that's pretty much the only area that I became real familiar with in Datamiine, but Datamiine does a bunch more. You have accounting software built in too as well.
Yeah, what we like to say, we're kind of your one-stop shop. So what we realized was a lot of our users were using 3 to 4 different tools. They were using GoDaddy, QuickBooks, potentially, MileIQ, InkFrog, some other listing tools out there. So we're trying to be the one-stop shop out there. So we do have accounting features. So we can do your full accounting suite here to where you can see month-over-month profit and loss statements. So keep in mind, we pull all your eBay and revenue, so you don't have to enter any of that. But if you do sell on other platforms, wherever you can go into Datamiine, you can say, this today I went to Goodwill, I spent $500, and then you can put any kind of note you want, and you click save, and this automatically posts a journal entry for that, and then that will pull over to your summary tab here, which will give you a nice profit and loss. At the end of the year, you can hand your accountant, you know, here's my business.
And then you can also input your cost of goods per item too, if you want to know exactly the profits you made on like each individual thing too, right? Instead of just a general profit.
Yes. Yep. So if you want, some of our users do want to know how profitable they are on everything they sell. So for you to do that, you would just go to your eBay inventory page. And then there is a cost of goods area right here. And this was where you would enter the cost of each individual listing. Let me get to one that we haven't entered it yet. It will be in yellow. Okay. So you can see in yellow, that means we haven't entered it, like sticks out. So you just click on edit. And then let's say my cost on this particular product was $550. You can put any kind of note you want, maybe where you bought it from. And then you would click on update. And then it saves your cost of goods in there. So as it sells, you can see your net profitability. So if you go to your orders page, and your orders page here is just like paid and shipped orders on eBay, but it gives you a little more information. it says, you know, we sold Google Drive for 17 bucks. And this right here actually shows you if it's a repeat customer or not. So if that's the number of transactions that buyer ID did. So I saw just 412. So 2 days ago, here's a repeat buyer. I can click on the 2, show me all the orders from them. And then if this was someone that I wanted to call, we bold the email. So if it's a Yahoo or something like that, I don't want to look at that. I want to focus on businesses. For sharktech.net, that should be in bold. So I would just click on that and that will go directly to their website if they have one. Let's see if they do. Yes. So this is a business. I should probably call them and say thank you. And this is how we have basically over the past 4 years, we do so much through PayPal, but it's all about identifying repeat buyers. And that's why the company's name is, because we can drill down really quickly and identify that. But then if you want to get back into knowing your net profitability, you would just click on your cost of goods right here. And if I had it entered, I said I sold this product, 6 of them for $149. My paid for $65. We automatically pull that. My cost of goods would have been right here. My eBay fees were $922, and my net profit would have showed up right there. We have some people say, "Wow, I even lose money and I never even knew it." But that's not annually entering the cost of goods in the Datamiine and watching it sell, because they are running so many promotions. You know, eBay's all about promoted listings right now, and it's easily be able to your net profit's not that easy to calculate, but in Datamiine,
Okay, and then you're gonna be having within the next couple of weeks some understanding where it's also gonna automatically pull over your actual shipping costs.
Yeah, our next release will automatically pull that.
Okay.
So right now it's a manual process, but we'll have that.
And then
how does everyone on the call use custom label?
Okay, and then you have a few different levels on here because I got people asking cost.
It ranges from $20 to $40 a month, depending on what tier you are.
And you can get in the first link that I have down in the description below, you get a 30-day free trial that you can try out the full-blown version, right? It's your top tier program to check out all the features. You don't ask no credit information or anything like that until they decide they want to go. And I believe anybody that tries it is going to feel it's worth it.
Yep. The first place I would go in the software on the trial, the first day you get it, is this page here under inventory summary. This will quickly identify if you have an inventory problem. And if you come in here and let's say you have 500 listings and most of them, and maybe 50% is sitting in this 61 or greater days, I would automatically start delisting and relisting those with Datamiine. And that way, you can see if the tool pays for itself. Because what we thought is if you're making more than $40 a month, it's a no-brainer because it's saving you a ton of time and it's generating the revenue from it.
Absolutely. I think in our, what was it? In our free trial month, and then I didn't even start taking advantage of the program, I think, for like the first 2 weeks. So I only actually had 2 weeks into our trial period. We did like $226 in additional revenue.
Yeah.
I know it was a lot.
Yeah, just in the, so I mean, right there, to me, that's like, okay, well, that's more than 4 months of Datamiine that was paid for on sales that I wouldn't have had probably without it.
Right.
And then we have,
and I like
for you have some perks too for Datamiine people, right? Because you got that wholesale tab up there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the future of Datamiine is, people always ask us, could you create a listing feature that makes it easier? But, we could spend a whole year on creating a feature and we still might not be better than listing on eBay or through your phone. So, but there's another way to solve the manual listing feature is to give our users the ability to buy renewables. So not buying a one off of this and a one off of that. That's what takes most of your time. So we have been very fortunate enough to partner with a lot of big companies out there on their overstock items that they get us really cheap. So you can go into the wholesale section here of Datamiine. And the goal of this is almost like imagine if Alibaba merges with eBay and they partner. I'm trying to bring that marketplace together for sellers though. And we're going to have categories of clothing, military, wear supplies, jewelry. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Like just this past weekend, I had 500 pairs of military ABUs that sell really good online. I got that from my Air Force base here in South Carolina. But when you click on it, it will take you to all the inventory. That's live. It's a little slow. Sorry about that.
Well, sorry.
And then you pick and choose which one you want. So I'll tell you what's really hot right now for our users is like LA Dodgers right here. You can say 10 and number 12, 10 and number 13. And this stuff is selling on eBay for $20 and $29 because it's all new attacks, licensed gear. And right now we have a promo running for $1.75 free shipping. Anything you see here, $1.75 free shipping. A lot of New Balance, a lot of Warrior, which is a big lacrosse brand. So I'm just trying to give as much options as possible. That way you never have to leave. A lot of our users say, you know, the weather's really, especially during the winter time, they couldn't go out and source. So they're like, well, let me just try Datamiine out just to see. So, and the way that you do that, you just click here on the order form. And then that's where you place your order. And then we get notified, our team packs ship within 24 hours and you have your package.
Cool.
But I think we have close to like 50 pallets coming our way in the next month of different stuff. One's going to be like affliction shirts that are kind of military branded. 25 pallets of military surplus, which could be gun holsters, really cool stuff like that. That's just outdated. So it's
that inventory would be like growing and changing over from time to time.
Yes. Yep.
Cool. What do you think, Pat D? So I know we're having a little bit of audio glitching, but what's running through your head as you were looking at this? Seems like something you could put to use.
I'd have to understand it a little bit more, and that's what I want to ask Brooks. If you had to basically, and the audio has been a little choppy, so I've been trying to pay attention as best as I can. How would you describe the company, I guess, in one paragraph? In other words, why would people, what are your Datamiine, you just work with eBay and like to sell people on wanting to sign up for this service, how would you describe your company and what you think you could accomplish? You know, it seems to me, and maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, it's not for somebody who maybe wants to sell 5 items a week and make $25, who does this on the side. It seems to me these type of programs and software are something to take someone to the next level.
Right. What I tell people, we have users that are as small as 10 active listings. And I asked them, why are you paying Datamiine? And they said, because I plan on going fine in a year because I'm retiring from my business and I want to make sure I'm doing everything right in best practice, whether it be eBay best practice with delist relist, whether it be accounting best practices, mileage tracking best practice. So we're kind of that one-stop shop that gives you that structure to do that. And because I actually reached out to that person, I was really curious. I was very shocked that they have 10 active listings. They haven't had a sale in I don't even know when. And they told me that answer. And I was like, you know, we really do give the ability so you're not working off spreadsheets. Hawkley, you know, your spreadsheet, your computer might die, you still have everything here. So we give the framework that is in online sellers best practice, I think.
And for the people that are having problems because of the audio glitching that's going on, there is a link to Brooks's YouTube channel, and you have like detailed videos of like each segment of Datamiine on there, right?
Yes.
Now, Brooks. Now, again, how would you if I first met you and you know, hey, I'm Brooks from Datamiine, and I said to you, well, what exactly does your company and software do?
Okay.
How, in a short paragraph, how would you describe exactly? Because there's no way in 10 or 15 minutes here I'm going to quite understand exactly everything. But I'm trying to get to the short of it. That way, when people are watching the replay or following us along, exactly what you're not just a company looking to sell tech. This is obviously a service for people that want to do eBay.
Mm-hmm. I would say that it helps you automate to where it gives you the most visibility on eBay, which will increase sales.
So you're what happens is if I sign up now, did you say it was $20 to $40 a month?
Yes.
Okay. Now is this a cloud-based software?
Yes.
Okay. And is this information held on your servers?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is I give you access to my store.
Yes.
Okay, and then if I have listings there, and by utilizing your software called Datamiine, it provides tools to allow me to kind of track the sales better, do relistings much easier, those type of things. Am I correct?
You are. And keep in mind, we're also eBay certified. So we had to go through a 6-month, very extensive security search and everything. So when you say cloud-based and servers, you know, everything's been blessed by eBay to do that.
Now, how long has the company been in business?
7 years.
How many?
Our tech company has been in business 7 years. Datamiine has been for 2 years.
And Datamiine, how long have you been doing this integrated with your stores?
5 years.
And are there, and again, I don't mean to catch you off guard because I don't know you, and I'm trying to ask questions, maybe a viewer or someone like myself who is possibly interested in doing this. Is there examples on your site, maybe testimonials from people that said, hey, yeah, I've tried this and this is what it's done for me and stuff like that?
We do have testimonials. If I just go logging out here, some of the people that use our software would be Teresa Cox, who's well known throughout the eBay. Hawa, she was a big winner at eBay Open Shine Award winner. Katie, eBay Shine Award winner. Rally Roots pushes us. Chris, Daily Refinement pushes us. So we've been very fortunate to have a lot of the well-known eBay advocates out there for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think these things, you know, again, are great because I ran a restaurant business, and you know, the old pen and paper and the old push register. We had invested $15,000 and put in a micro system that could basically give you all those, basically what you guys are doing. You know, the breakdown of what sales were at certain times, what items we're selling. So I'm really up to stepping up, especially if you really are taking this serious, that if you want to grow the business and make it easier, I could see you know, it being an important tool.
Right.
I know once we got up, like when we were up past our 500 mark, it was hard. It got harder and harder to track what's old and how long it's been sitting there. And Datamiine just kind of did that all for us. It took a whole lot of thinking and a whole lot of staring at my eBay, figuring out, okay, how old is this listing? How old is that listing? How many times have I already relisted it? It has helped us out tremendously. And like I say, we're not a huge store. One of the things that I find, and I find $40 plan that I'm paying worth it is just the ability to have my store active when I cannot be active in my store.
Now, Tom, what do you mean by that?
Because when I set it up and I go with the delist relist feature, it goes and it's relisted as sell similar, correct, Brooks?
Yes.
Not as a relisting. So
Correct.
it puts it out there as a new listing, which with eBay, new listings get an initial boost right off the bat. And I've had items that were in my store that were almost 2 years old. And the day they were delisted and relisted through a software, and yeah, I could have did it myself, but like I say, it takes time. I was willing to pay somebody to do that, just do that feature for me. And the day it was done through his software, or days that when I was manually doing it, something that sat there, and even if I bumped it up a couple dollars, would end up selling right away, because once it gets so stale in eBay doesn't push it anymore. It just gets further and further down the list. So like I'm saying, on Saturday and Sundays, I'm not here working on my eBay. I can't get that morning activity. I can't drop my listings or refresh some listings, but I can have Datamiine do that for me. Saturday and Sunday, I don't have to worry about it. I can tell it, okay, I want it to do 10 listings for me. I want it to do 25 listings, take 25 of my oldest listings on Saturday and refresh them and throw them up there like new listings. eBay seeing it as me sitting in front of my computer, putting new listings up, showing activity. And that's what eBay likes. And I believe it helps. If I don't list anything for a couple of days, I notice it instantly. The sales start falling off almost immediately. So I believe, to me, it's worth paying the money and having Datamiine do that, especially like we got to source. We're in a small town. Sometimes we got to go to another town to source for a day or two, which means my inventory and all that I can't take with me, and I don't want to spend the time in a motel room. If I'm in another town sourcing, I need to be taking advantage of that town. Datamiine basically keeps my eBay active when I'm not available to.
Now, I have a quick question. For people that would want to join this, obviously, I think that there's always the fear of adding another system and not under. There's a lot of people that know how. They say, "Oh, I got something to sell," but they're kind of like, "Oh, I don't want to do the computer." Do you you have a YouTube channel? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, he does, and it is linked in the description.
Okay.
Of our show here.
Do you have any videos that show basically the process of someone signing up and going through a couple listings and how to, like a tutorial?
Yes, I have 2-minute videos on every feature. So there's probably 75 videos, and then I do weekly full demos live, and then I do Facebook Live at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
Features.
Because I think that would be, some people that, I mean, I know I see people struggle. I really don't think eBay is that tough to list. What the tough part is knowing what to sell and what to list. I mean, that'll always be a problem. I think what we think is the hot trending thing or is going to sell, things change. I mean, you guys, you talked about rally routes. They'll tell you too. I mean, what they used to get for, say, Tommy Bahama, $75, now they're getting $25. So, staying in tune with the market and what is selling and what is trending is really important too. Because not everything, and sometimes you have to bite the bullet and say, you know what, not everything is going to sell on eBay, and maybe there's where we talked about earlier is maybe that then is something that you don't sell on eBay. You sell maybe at another source,
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you sounded louder and clearer.
Okay, good.
Landshark Picker in chat had a question. He said he didn't know if anybody saw his comment earlier or not. Auto relisting these will account against your store's monthly listings. How many do you do a day? I do on average. I'm down. I had to drop it down to 5 because I actually ran out of listings that were older than 60 days because I don't have enough stuff in my store right now. So right now I think I got it set down to 5 a day, and I have a premium store.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen this before. We have a report out there that talks about your store. So this means is we have 2 stores, and here's both of them. One's a starter account, one's a premium. This means you get the starter 100 listings per month, with a premium 1,000. And then this right here is insertion fees. So if you go over that, you get 10 cents for this account, 30 cents for this account. eBay doesn't really want to, I don't think, wants you to know exactly where you're at. They just want you to just list, and start paying them more money. But I know where I'm at real time every day. So this is showing you your listings that you've done manually month over month. And this is showing you the ones that we have done automated through Datamiine. So you can come in here at any point of the month and know exactly where you are. So do you not, we that's the last thing we want to do, have someone come and approve 1,000 listings and then they have to pay a bunch of fees and insertion fees. So we give you this ability to know where you are real time.
Now, I just heard something last week, and our family is an eBay stockholder, and that probably they think eBay is going to go to unlimited listings. I mean, they're at a point, I think they just want to kind of, they're going to have to make a lot of different decisions. It's funny because I do Instacart on the side, and I was at today, and it was raining, and I was busting the cart boy about getting an umbrella hat. And I said, oh, you can go on eBay. And he goes, I go on Amazon. He goes, I don't trust eBay. And I said, why? And I said, no, I've been selling on there. And I think the perception is that someone's a shyster, someone could sell, not. I said, no, you're protected. If you don't get the item, you get your money back. So I still think there's a tremendous opportunity for eBay to grow, and platforms like yours is only going to help people who want to turn it into a business and utilize those 2 tools together. Because I just recently saw that, Joe, about unlimited listings. I don't know if you've seen that or not, Brooks.
No, I haven't heard.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I saw that in the like I said, I follow it every day because it's a position that we hold in my son's account. So and I've been an eBay stockholder on and off probably for the past 20 years.
Okay, Swamp Picker says he has 2 stores, which a lot of us do have 2 stores. We have 2 stores. I know a lot of people have 2 stores. You can connect 2 stores to this software, right?
Yes.
Now let me ask you. That's a question. Are you paying one fee? In other words, if you pay a $40 fee, does that cover only 1 store, or a person who has 2 stores, or do you have to have how does that work?
No, it's a $5 additional store after your first one.
Okay, so that would be.
It would be $45.
Again, now real quickly, what's the difference between a $20 and a $40 subscription?
$20 is purely if you want to do accounting.
Okay.
$30 if you want to do some updating inventory real time through Datamiine. We can do that as well. So you're not having to eBay. And then $40 gives you the whole suite. Okay.
Now, is that what you're doing right now? Is this something that you developed, or is this something that you developed with a partner? In other words, there's an actual company out there that you guys are trying to sell your service and offer the benefits of helping people with eBay?
No, my partner is a software developer. We work full time at a software company, corporate America, for many years, and we had full time employees running our eBay business. So we would sit, including my wife, we would sit there once a week and have meetings and watch them click as they're shipping, as they're listing, as they're updating inventory. And literally we would do that every week. And then we would automate all those clicks. And then over years and years and years of doing that, we built out a tool for us that is very robust.
And then I seen earlier up in chat somewhere, I don't know if I can find it exactly, but your customer support is outstanding. You have a Facebook page, and you and Wu Chung are on there. And there's times where I've had questions. I've seen other people. I don't think I've waited longer than 10, 15 minutes tops for a response, and usually an immediate solution to whatever issue there may have been.
Yeah, it's we're on Facebook way too much, as my wife would say.
I have a question. I'm not sure if you already said this. How many people are using this? Datamiine.
Well, I like to keep the total number kind of masked, but when we launched out of beta, which was at the end of this year, we were close to right at like 700. So
you clipped out, Brooks.
Suspenseful.
I did what? I know. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to mask that. I can tell you this: the new eBay update generated a lot of people for us.
Nice.
With the good tool cancel.
I like the idea,
because
honestly.
people have to manage it.
I think it's my whole thing is I know that people are talking about, in the chat, or I saw a few people, buying something for more money, but I'm always trying to think of ways to help myself in time management and give myself a little more freedom to hang out with my kids. And if paying $40 means that I can take way less time in trying to relist things, because yes, I realize that everything went to good to cancel, but you still, in my opinion, need to, as Brooks would say, delist and relist to get your listing back up there is kind of showing new. It's gonna show new before it's gonna show a relisted thing, or a sell similar. It's gonna show first. Well, that's just my opinion, but I like the idea of being able to free up some of my time and make life a little easier, especially because I love eBay. I do. My family's been in the eBay business since the late 90s. But I also love my freedom. I also love, to do things on the weekend. And I'm horrible about spending as much time doing the sell similar on a Saturday and Sunday. So it's awesome to know that there's something out here like that out there that you can do that with. That's important to me. So I'm all in, man. 30-day trial, I might as well try it. I mean, Tommy's been preaching it for weeks and weeks now, and I know that he wouldn't lead me astray. So I trust 100% when he says that this works. And also Rebecca, who is our amazing mod, uses this program as well.
And it's risk-free. I mean, if you use the link, it's a referral link Datamiine gave me. They're going to give you 30 days free. You don't even have to worry. Like, it's not one of those, well, you got to cancel within 10 days before the end so you don't get charged or anything. If at the end of the 30 days you don't sign up and give billing information, it just stops. Correct, Brooks?
Correct.
It would just stop. There's not all of a sudden going to be any magical fees or unauthorized fees on your credit card or bank statement or anything like that. You try it.
We don't even ask for that.
Yeah. You have nothing to lose. You have 30 days to see if it's going to make you that $40.
Right. I think that it's worth it to try it, especially if there's not a whole bunch of things attached to it. Because I don't know, it was a couple months ago, signed up for something and I was having issues. That was a 30-day trial, but there was my credit card attached to the end of it. And I kept having issues trying to even log in. It was like they launched this and a whole bunch of people got on it and it didn't, it was bogged down. So I kept trying. And next thing I know, I sort of give up and forget about it. And my card is charged. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I never even got to try it. And if you're going to put it out there to do it free like that, I mean, that says a lot about what you believe in your own company to do that. That's awesome.
Right.
And Brooks, there is a way that people actually could get Datamiine free forever, right?
We do have a referral program. So what I tell people, if you go into your My Account page and there's a referral program down here, and it gives you your own unique URL. So if you give mine one person per month, we actually pay you $50. So not just per month. If you give us one person, they become a subscriber, we'll pay you $50, and you just link your PayPal account. Click on more. This is where you would save your PayPal. You can see exactly how many people have signed up.
That was a question I have. So you guys do take PayPal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We do take PayPal. You can see who's all signed up for your referral program, you know, who's all subscribed, and the estimated reward date. And we track that in real time.
So if you could get one person a month to sign up, you could get Datamiine for free and make $10.
Nice.
Exactly.
That's even better.
Can't get much better than that.
Yeah, and that's just an acquisition cost to the company to keep growing. Now, you know, I have a question. I have a question. When you guys went to eBay Open, have you guys have obviously you got permission to integrate with eBay, right? You said
you have to get something called certified. So for us to be able to talk to eBay with all of our users, you have to go through an extensive certification process.
Have you guys ever considered scaling this up bigger and maybe selling the company to eBay, where maybe they could add it on a subscription to the store, and because they have the servers and stuff like that? I tell you, it's. I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking long term. It's just something. If a bigger company, I wish like an eBay would be a little bit more supportive of these type companies to make it easier for sellers to grow and make it more, to show people more that it's a business and these softwares are important.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't say that it's a high initiative, but who knows where we're going to be in 3 years. I just don't. But I will say eBay was very open with us. We got to meet with Scott Hamilton, who's a very big VP of development there, and they brought us in. You know, carted us around their entire campus. They're very nice to software companies like us, I think. So I was very gracious for that.
VIP treatment.
Because we were at a point to where we couldn't acquire any more customers. But we were just at a complete freeze.
Okay. If anybody has any questions.
Well, I think there's, and that's, I think there's a lot you could, I mean, we could probably talk about this for 3 hours. Now, are you reachable through Facebook, or have you called the company, Brooks, or?
Yeah, you can see us right here. If you just, once you get in, you on support. Support takes you to our YouTube. It takes you, which are very detailed. It takes you, we have one-on-one communication. That way you don't lose in an email. It's all tracked with inside Datamiine. And then you click on Datamiine Facebook group here. This is, our users they're like an army. I mean, sometimes our users will write back faster than we will. So very, close family group, which we like. So you can see, this person put out their 2 hours and already has multiple threads of me and Wu Chung talking about accounting features here. So this is the best way to get your stuff here.
Yeah, like I say, I've never had any problems with trying to get a hold of somebody with a question or anything. It's a super fast response.
Yeah.
I want to thank you you guys can hear me, it's on, right? Okay. I'd like to thank you, Brooks, for the mile tracker. I have put so many miles that we have traveled into GoDaddy for the last 2 years, and having to go and not remember how many miles we went, and having to go to the Google map and look it over and stuff like that. And, oh yeah, we did travel this many, and put it in there. With the travel, the mile tracker, putting that information in one time and then going back and clicking on it and not having to figure out like all the, opening up a new page and pulling up Google Maps and this and that. It's like all there, and I love it. absolutely love it.
Yeah, they'll definitely
Yeah,
have to go over to his channel and check out that video on there. It's so convenient, especially if you're the typical reseller that kind of hits the same spots all the time.
Yeah, that's what we realized, and that's why we created an address book. So you just enter your same as you go, and then when you need to log a trip, you just say I started here, and then I went to this. I went to the flea market, and then I came back to my house, and that was the sourcing trip. And you click save; it will automatically integrate with Google Maps, and there you go. So it's really a neat feature.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features.
Yeah, and it'll actually like map it out for you too, right? And
Yeah, so like
your
here, if I want to
mileage for
log
you.
this trip, yeah, if I want to log this trip here, so when it's a new trip, it says, "Wow, you need to do something" in yellow. So you just need to click on map, and then that will tab the total miles. So that was 48 miles, and then you'll just click on edit and type in 48, and click save. And then if you need to do that trip again, you don't have to manually go back and anything. You just click travel again and click save, and it's done. So I always ask people, I said, how do you do this? Oh, well, I sometimes do it and sometimes don't. I don't give the government free money. You're just giving away on top of this. And this is one good way of doing it.
Now, why? I have a quick question. How comes you're not on your page as a selling point? Because you have permission with eBay, how comes are you not allowed to use their logo? Why are you not mentioning that you're integrated with eBay and a little bit about that? Is that just permissions not allowed to use their logo or name?
No, we can. We just haven't put it on our user. We don't drive a lot of traffic to Datamiine.com. We try to draw traffic through YouTube. So that's kind of, we need to put it on our front page, but we are not the best.
I was thinking that again, because when you say Datamiine, I don't know what it was, but if you could basically make it that, wow, wait a minute, it's connected with eBay. It's something. It's I think it would be a better selling point and make people realize people are lazy sometimes. They click through things and I think sometimes, and you don't want to put too much. They always say when they do billboards, sometimes people can put a whole paragraph on there and you only got 3 seconds, people are driving by. So sometimes you got to have stuff on there that kind of hits the point, a quick message that people kind of get it as they get those 3 seconds when they drive by. So that was the question I had.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of one of those things where such a small company, it's like, do we launch a mileage tracking feature or do we make our website put that? And we're like, we're going to help our user. But yeah, I fully agree that we need to put that in here. So.
Was there any more questions?
I think we're going just over an hour here, so we're probably gonna start wrapping it up. But thank you for coming, Brooks.
Oh, thank you.
Being very informative. Like I say, the links are down in the description below to check out other features and more detailed features of his program and everything it can do. There's a referral link you're welcome to use. Check it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You have nothing to lose. And I don't know. What do we got going on next week? We got Kim coming up next week, right?
Yeah, woo woo. We're good. It is Easter, but I know that we have people who are from all over the world. They don't celebrate that everywhere. So we're gonna still do our show next week. And there is some really amazing giveaways through these little mystery eggs that we got going on. You have to be present to win. So make sure to be there because it's going to be awesome. We're going to talk about some of our favorites, meaning people, YouTubers or motivational speakers, people that sort of we look up to. So y'all should check it out.
Definitely. And then following that, we have Destiny, Shamrock Pixie. Do we have a show topic?
Yeah, it should be in the thing. well, it wasn't here.
Oh, and the little paper. Yes.
Yeah, the summer slowdown. We were going to talk more about summer slowdowns and what everybody.
How we subsidize a little bit. Other things we do in the summer.
Yeah.
Subsidizing. All right. That's a great topic because I'm down to talk about that. I'm down to maybe let out a few of my secrets on local sales during that because that's when I amp that up is local sales during the summer.
And then following with Pat D. Pat D, do we know what we're talking about yet, or are we still?
Well, I'm working with someone, or possibly two. But the problem is everybody's still busy. So I'm working with someone to have a special guest that we would talk to. That's the May 5th show. It's hard to get a commitment sometimes a month ahead, but I'm not worried because I've talked to 2 or 3 different people. So probably about 9 or 10 days before, I'll have a more of a commitment on who the guest is going to be. That way, when people tune in, they can kind of think about their questions. It won't be a mystery guest. It'll be announced probably about a week or 10 days ahead. I thank Brooks for coming on. I like to have him on a future show again because, you're always trying to teach new things to people, and there's people that aren't watching tonight. I mean, collectively combined between the group, there's over, close to 2,000, subscribers to our channels that, and I'm sure the people that are missed out tonight because something's going on, that I like to have Brooks come again in the future because then we can ask more questions and give him a platform to explain some of his what he does and follow up on anybody else if they have comments and stuff that he didn't think about tonight and stuff. It kind of reminds me, Coca-Cola has been around for 135 years, but yet you still got to be on top of mind. You got to keep selling yourself and selling what you got and getting that message out there, what you can provide. Having him on the show tonight for 1 hour is great, but again, I like to have him again on the future on maybe one of our channels. What we do, Brooks, is we rotate here on a schedule. So we, with all 4 of us, so we create the show that week and what the topic is. So, we're constantly looking for feedback from viewers and, things like that as far as what we want to do. And I'm very interested in anything that helps people take eBay to the next level.
Right. That sounds good.
Okay, cool. And then Kim, you having a show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm doing my usual Monday motivation, except I am having a special guest on. I am having Todd Flipping Hustler on. It has been requested many of times to get the 2 of us together in one show, and so we are making it happen, folks. And I am so excited because he has inspired me and many of us, but I mean, he's part of the reason that I went live in the first place. So it should be awesome. I haven't been this excited for a Monday motivational show. So I'm stoked. Yes, that's at noon, by the way, Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central.
All right, Miss Kim, we have a surprise for you, so sit back and just wait.
What?
Yep.
OMG. Y'all, I don't know what they're doing.
Where'd they go? I walk away to get a Coke, and now,
Oh, we thought it was bathroom break time.
Well, sometimes it is, but
All right, 2019, gentlemen. See if it works. We have
Congratulations!
subscribers here.
right there. Hold on.
I love you guys.
We are so proud of you, honey. We love you.
Brooks is looking like, what is going on?
I wasn't prepped on this.
Yeah, Tom, that was Tommy's department.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I had just Brooks just last night. right before midnight hit 1,000 subscribers, and that was pretty neat. So they were celebrating.
Absolutely.
I thought we celebrated
Very
Easter.
big.
Really?
That's next week, Pat. That's next week. We're so proud of you, Kim.
Thank
and
you. Day
we
made,
love
week
you.
made, month made. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Thank you.
Congrats.
Now make sure you get the 2,000 so I can put a 2 over the, you know. That should be next at the rate that you're growing.
I appreciate that. Amazing.
And I think with that, we're gonna call it, eh?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, everybody.
See everybody next week. Don't forget to join Kim with Flippin' Hustler tomorrow. Don't miss that. All right, we're out. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.